Rain poured over Fort Ridgewell like the sky itself was mourning something unseen. Soldiers hurried across the yard, boots splashing through muddy puddles, while floodlights cut through the stormy night. Inside the main building, a janitor worked quietly, pushing his mop back and forth with rhythmic precision. No one noticed him, not really. He was part of the background, the man who kept the place clean, the one people passed by without a second thought. But tonight, something was about to change. Because in a few minutes, the most respected woman on the base, the fierce, disciplined General Elena Torres, was going to hear something that would stop her cold. And when she made her next move, it would shake the entire base to its core. That janitor was no ordinary man. When Elena first saw him, she barely registered his face. It was late, close to midnight, and she was reviewing logistics in the operations wing when she caught the sound of faint singing echoing through the hall. It wasn't English. It was something else, fluid and beautiful, rolling like waves. She followed the sound and found him, dark-haired, early 40s in a faded uniform shirt, his mop gliding smoothly as he hummed. "You there?" she said sharply. "What language is that?" He froze mid-motion. "It's Portuguese, ma'am." She blinked. His accent was soft, his tone respectful. "You speak Portuguese?" He nodded once. "Among others." "Others?" she asked, curious despite herself. He hesitated, then shrugged as if it meant nothing. "8 more, ma'am." She frowned. 9 languages. He gave a shy, almost apologetic smile. "Yes, ma'am." Eleanor couldn't quite believe it. She'd seen her share of prodigies in her years of service, but a janitor, here at a remote military base, claiming to speak 9 languages. It sounded absurd, yet the quiet confidence in his voice made her pause. "What's your name?" she asked. "Daniel," he replied. "Daniel Reyes." She studied him a moment longer. His uniform was spotless despite his work, his posture straight. His eyes, deep brown and weary, hinted at a story far bigger than the mop in his hands. "Carry on," she said finally, though her mind stayed on him long after she walked away. Over the next few days, Elena found herself noticing him more often. Daniel was always there before dawn, cleaning the corridors, fixing what others broke. But what struck her wasn't just his work ethic, it was how he treated everyone, from the lowest recruit to the highest-ranking officer, with equal respect. One afternoon, she overheard 2 soldiers joking in the mess hall, trying to impress a visiting official who spoke French. When the soldiers stumbled through a sentence, Daniel, passing by with his cleaning cart, politely corrected their pronunciation. The room went silent. The official looked stunned, then tested Daniel with a full sentence in rapid French. To everyone's surprise, Daniel replied effortlessly, his voice calm, fluent, perfect. "Who is that guy?" one of the soldiers whispered. No one had an answer. That evening, Elena called him to her office. "Daniel," she began, "I want to understand something. Why is a man who speaks 9 languages cleaning floors at a military base?" He looked down at his hands. "It's complicated, ma'am." "Try me," she said. He hesitated, then sighed. "I used to be an interpreter for the UN, worked with international forces, translation missions, peace talks, but after my wife died, I couldn't keep up with that life. My daughter was only 5. She needed stability, and I needed to be somewhere quiet, somewhere that didn't remind me of war." Elena felt the words hit her like a slow, heavy weight. There was no self-pity in his tone, just honesty. "So you left everything?" she asked softly. He nodded. "I chose to be a father first. This job," he gestured toward his uniform, "keeps me close to home, gives me time for her." Elena didn't speak for a long time. She'd built her career on sacrifice, climbing higher than most ever dared. But hearing him say it so simply, "I chose to be a father first," unsettled something deep inside her. "Does she know how much you've given up?" He smiled faintly. One day maybe she'll understand. A week later, the base received urgent news. A high-level meeting with foreign military advisors was being scheduled, and the translator assigned to the operation had fallen ill. The meeting was critical, negotiations involving border cooperation, languages ranging from Arabic to Russian to Mandarin. Panic rippled through the command office. Elena stood silently for a moment before saying, "I might have someone." When she brought Daniel into the briefing room, no one believed her. The officers exchanged doubtful looks. "General," one of them muttered, "he's the janitor." She ignored the comment. "He's also fluent in every language we need today." Daniel stepped forward, calm, composed. And when the meeting began, he moved like water between voices, translating with precision, grace, and humility. The foreign officials were astonished, not just by his skill, but by his humanity. Hours later, the negotiations ended successfully, largely thanks to Daniel's clarity and fairness. As the advisors left, one of them turned to Elena. "That man," he said, pointing toward Daniel, "is worth more than gold." The entire room applauded him. Soldiers, who had once passed him in the hall without a glance, now looked at him in awe. After everyone had left, Elena approached Daniel. "You saved that mission," she said, "and probably this base." He shook his head. "Just doing what I can, ma'am." She smiled. "Not anymore." He looked puzzled. "Starting tomorrow," she said, "you're not cleaning floors. You're joining the intelligence division as our chief language specialist." His mouth fell open. "Ma'am, that's an order," she said firmly, though there was warmth in her tone. "You've hidden your light long enough." For a moment he didn't speak. His eyes glistened, and when he finally nodded, it was with quiet gratitude. "Thank you, General." "No," she said softly. "Thank you for reminding me what true service looks like." Months passed, and Daniel's role transformed the base. He trained young recruits in language and diplomacy, bridged cultural gaps, and earned respect far beyond rank. His daughter, Sophia, visited sometimes, her small hand clutching his as she proudly told everyone, "My dad teaches soldiers now." Elena would watch from afar, smiling to herself. One afternoon, as the sun dipped behind the hangars, she found Daniel in the courtyard, helping Sophia with her homework. "She's got your determination," Elena said, walking up. He chuckled. "She's got her mother's spirit." They stood there for a moment in comfortable silence. "You know," Elena said quietly, "when I first heard you singing that night, I thought you were just another worker trying to pass the time. I never imagined you'd teach this entire base what humility looks like." Daniel looked at her, eyes thoughtful. "Sometimes, General, the people who seem invisible are the ones holding everything together." She nodded slowly. "You're right." Later that year, during a ceremony honoring outstanding service, Elena stepped onto the stage. Her voice carried through the hall. "Today we recognize a man who reminded us that strength doesn't always wear stripes, and leadership isn't always about command. Sometimes it's about quiet endurance, compassion, and the courage to start over." She gestured toward Daniel, to Mr. Daniel Reyes, father, linguist, and hero in his own right. The applause was thunderous. Soldiers stood, saluting him, not as a janitor, but as one of their own. Daniel's daughter clapped the loudest, her smile wide and tearful. As Elena pinned the honorary medal on his chest, she whispered, "You changed more lives than you'll ever know." He smiled, his eyes shining. "We all have a story, General. I just stopped hiding mine." And in that moment, beneath the bright lights, surrounded by the people who had once overlooked him, the base realized that greatness doesn't always march in uniform. Sometimes it pushes a mop, hums a quiet tune, and carries a heart too humble to seek recognition. Because true heroes don't wait to be seen. They just keep showing up day after day until the world finally notices. And when it does, everything changes.